Alright, so I want you to think about this. We have a whole new trilogy. So immediately, Kingpin is the big bad. What is our goal? To get the entirety of the Heroes for Hire plus model setup. So here's what we do. Daredevil hasn't met Spider-Man. Matt Murdock has. Now, you can have him kind of be like, hey, my friend, Matt Murdock, he told me you need help. Okay, do whatever you need. But the story should be involving him. And I really think this is where you should have someone like Scorpion actually have the J. Jameson story mixed with Kingpin to create the superpowered Scorpion, the battle suit and everything. Let's go 90s animated series, okay? That stuff was so amazing. Now, why am I setting all this up? Because the Sinister Six and Kingpin will be in the final movie. And you might be like, well, that's a lot. Well, yeah, the Heroes for Hire plus Daredevil and Jessica Jones would come back. Now, the variant timeline thing, that's Netflix. Just get rid of that, in effect. Keep it, but it's a variant timeline. Because our Jessica Jones will be flying. Will be able to fling cars. And a bullet is just going to be as worthless as it was against Luke Cage. Luke Cage is going to get his strength toned up, his healing factor returned, and that's pretty much where he needs to be. Iron Fist would no longer only have one hand because of budget issues. It wouldn't just glow, it's going to have the energy emitting around it. He's going to have both, and by this time, should be able to kick, and actually throw a kick, and have the energy attached to it. The whole point of the living weapon is eventually his entire body can emanate with this energy. So, Daredevil now. Daredevil, like in the animated series, is going to be able to swing around town with his little sticks with the string in between it. Now, why is this important? Because there's a very, very popular comic story where there's a moment where Daredevil can tell Spider-Man's really feeling it. And this is where you've probably seen it pass around on YouTube if you're fans of a bunch of the comic and MCU YouTubers. But it's when Daredevil hugs Spider-Man, reminds him, and they kind of remind each other why they're doing it in their conversation. You can have that by the end, have someone get hurt that started becoming friends, really put Spider-Man down in the ground again emotionally. Have Daredevil there to help save him. Now, what's the point of Daredevil being in this? Well, he lives in that city, so it's not really a big deal. Plus, he would figure out Spider-Man's alone. And I think it would work for a really good team-up movie to have him there at least 30% of the time. Not at all a focus or a big deal in it, but a reoccurring character that really helps build it up. And for your second movie, this is where you would start bringing in the Heroes for Hire, because now you're going to be bringing in people like Tombstone. You're going to bring in Silvermane. You're going to bring in Hammerhead. You're going to bring in the criminal kingpins, effectively, that are trying to take Kingpin's position. This will be at a point where, man, there's just too many people. Spider-Man can still get shot. As we saw in No Way Home. He got shot, and he had to have himself get sewed up by Happy. This is kind of a big thing. So, now we have Spider-Man, we have Daredevil, and we have the Heroes for Hire. Since Luke Cage knows Jessica because they eventually have a kid together, they're already kind of in a relationship on and off again. This way, we're giving credence to the Netflix series, we're giving credence to the MCU, but we're also building on it and making it better than it ever was. By the third movie, Kingpin has had to bring some of the villains back out and forms his Sinister Six. We would have Doc Ock, Vulture, Scorpion, have Mysterio never have died. You bring back Shocker, and I'm not remembering who I had on the list, but so far, we're one member away and from having a really, really dangerous person. I'm not saying Mr. Negative. Mr. Negative needs to be one of those characters that are in the background still. We could introduce the Rose, Kingpin's son, as a crime lord. But by the end of this movie, you're going to have all of these characters. We need to introduce Smythe. Smythe builds the Spider Slayers. Now, I want you to picture Spider-Man versus a Sinister Six that tops his spider sense out. He can't deal with much more. You've got Luke Cage, Jessica Jones taking on all the guards with guns. You have Daredevil heading up to go face Kingpin. And you have Iron Fist just beating everyone he can. This would be a grand climax. And you have a post-credit scene where the multiverse begins splitting and him reference that, I thought Doctor Strange fixed this. No. It wasn't your fault, Peter. Bigger things were going on. And now, you just brought all of those characters into the multiverse story. Now, if you'd like me to go in more detail about how I do these movies, keep giving me support about the idea of me actually telling y'all how I would run the MCU with the concept of Disney Plus, spotlights, as well as big events and movies. Because trust me, I've thought about this a lot. And, first 5 years, X-Men versus Avengers, Kree-Krull War. I mean, come on. That would be so amazing. So, I'd love to bring that to y'all and see what y'all think. So go ahead, come back again, because I've got a lot more stuff to be calling out and talking about. If you haven't seen our content call out, first episode's out. If you're interested in tabletop RPG stuff, check out the Path to the Core system. Thank you for watching to the end. Please put any questions or other content you'd like me to look into doing in the comments. Catch y'all later.